Hopefully you fasten your seatbelts for the next 2 hours.
Right.
That's nonsense, Clint. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry.
I don't care what you buy.
That's
just
nonsense.
My feeling.
You're not just buying a racetrack. You're buying a piece of American racing history right there. I mean, that's huge. The history behind the track, just mind-boggling.
You hear a lot of rumors in the rumor mill. I'll just keep tuning in to you guys to hear the truth when it comes down to it. So
don't do that. I've already had one dose of tin hat syndrome today. I don't need a second one.
Stuart Friesen said to Brett, he says, "Why don't you bring us to more places like this?" And Brett goes, "There isn't any other place like this."
Race fans, it's time to throw it up on the cushion and get dirty. Coming to you live from the Finger Lakes and Southern Tier, it's time for Turn 5 Live. Now your hosts of Turn 5 Live, Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, and Brad Ovens.
Welcome aboard, race fans. Oh, yeah, baby. It's that time every Tuesday night here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Brad Ovens, Clint Miller, all joining you here tonight on the program. I'm calling in on the Race Chaser Online hotline here tonight. We've got little gremlins here in the new studios. Here at the Chop 2 Studios, that's the temporary name we're going with, Clint, the Chop 2 Studios here in Horseheads.
I think we need to put it up to a fan vote.
Oh, I think we do too, because I'm not sold on it for sure, but gotta come up with something here for the new digs.
Chop squared.
Yeah, there you go. We've got a lot of good things coming up for you tonight. First of all, we're starting off the show with breaking news, so if I can get that Clint Miller drum roll. There it is. We've got breaking news for you tonight, folks. We have got breaking news out of the Outlaw Speedway. Just within the hour, we have this breaking news for you. We have a title sponsor for the Big Block, Small Block Modified Division in 2016, and that sponsor is Friendly Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Friendly Ford out of Geneva. Brian Ryan and all the great folks there at Friendly's coming on board, sponsoring the Modified Division in 2016. This is a huge announcement. We've got the Modified sponsored for the year. And the other cool part about this, and for all those truck guys out there, no matter what kind of truck guy you are, this deal also includes a pretty sweet ride for our safety crew here in 2016. They've got a jacked-up Dodge Ram that's going to be the safety truck for 2016. And, Clint, if jacked-up trucks and Outlaw Speedway don't go together, I don't know what does.
Yeah, nothing does. You're absolutely right. I mean, what a great addition to the modified ranks. Great addition to the safety crew. Man, things just seem to getting better and better. I drove by today, and they're taking out the fence that's by the road. That's coming down today, so just more improvements every day.
Yeah, definitely. Brad Ovens joining us on the program tonight as well. And Brad, this is not only big from the safety truck perspective, but this is also pretty big for the for the modified division as a whole.
Absolutely, having that sponsorship come in, kind of gives, I think, a lot of the modified guys, it should give them a sense of security to know that, you've got a year-long sponsor. So I know at the end of last year, the purses kind of had to get dropped for the modifieds to accommodate the car count. So I think having that sponsorship in there should give some guys a certain level of security to know that hopefully that won't happen this year as there's someone there back in the class up.
No doubt about it, guys. And we've got you've got Friendly Ford and Friendly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep jumping on board with the modifieds. You've already got Creekside Entertainment on board with the street stocks, and Winter Circle Deli on board with the Bandit division for 2016. I know there's a lot more announcements that are going to be making their way out here in the next couple of weeks as we approach opening night. And we're approaching opening night for a lot of different racetracks in the area. But I'll tell you what, this cold front that seems to be coming in, I've heard enough about polar vortexes here for a little while, and it sounds like that's what we've got in store.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. We sat here over the weekend, and, we're sitting in 55, 60 degrees, T-shirts, wondering, man, this is perfect for starting racing on the right note, and then a day later it's 35, raining, wind is 50 miles an hour gusting. I'm tired of it. Tired of it.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
I think it reminds me to a conversation that we had with I think it was Steven and you and I were talking with Dylan Cece at the Arnott Mall show for the Woodhall car show, and we were talking, usually this time of year, we're talking about the frost that's coming up to the ground. So I think we kind of got lucky this year that there's not a lot of frost, if any, left in the ground right now. So I think we're going to come out swinging with a good racetrack this year.
That's definitely a silver lining. I mean, that you're absolutely right about that, Brad. And I guess that is one positive note to look at.
And if we remember last year, I was standing at the track on the Friday of the opening night, and Mike Jackson and I were standing in the middle of turns 1 and 2 watching the snow come down. It was so hard you couldn't even see turns 3 and 4. So, and if I remember right, we had a great opening night with the Doctor winning the opening night at the old Black Rock Speedway then. So, it's tough to start, especially coming out here. I think April 22nd, we may be looking at some different weather, just being the end of March now. So we've still got another 3/4 of a month to go, but I think we'll be all right.
We've got the opener coming up for Outlaw Speedway April 22nd. You've got the opener for Woodhall Raceway coming up Saturday, April 16th. A practice sessions for both tracks. Woodhall's is Saturday, April 9th, and the practice session for Outlaw Speedway is April 15th. The opening show for Canandaigua Motorsports Park, the opening weekend, I guess I should say, April 15th and 16th. Big couple of races there as they open up with the Race of Champions Dirt Modifieds, as well as the Grit Series for the Cabin Fever 2 event. Nick Guerri, of course, working real hard, getting sponsorships and things of that nature set up for that big event. So looking forward to seeing everything that they're able to come up with. But I'll tell you what, one racetrack that did kick off their season opening event, Penn-Can Speedway, this past weekend for their March Madness event, Steven Deinhardt picked up the win in the street stock division. We're going to be talking to him tonight at 8:30 p.m. After we go through all of the young guns, as it was in 2016. We've got A.J. Petrobowski Jr. coming up at 7:45 p.m. 8 o'clock, we've got his sister, Kaylee Petrobowski, coming up on the show. And at 8:15 tonight, we have Cheyenne LeBar coming up, going to be a rookie competitor in the adult four-cylinder division at both Woodhall and Outlaw Speedways for 2016. So looking forward to having all of those guests on the program tonight. We'll talk World of Outlaws later on, and we've got a Turn 5 roundtable. We're going to chew on some topics a little bit later tonight as well. Got a lot coming up. Clint, as we're talking about Steven Deinhardt joining us on the program tonight. He's got quite the unique race car for 2016. I don't know if you've had a chance to see the pictures of that car just yet.
I have not. Well, you know what? If I'm thinking right, is it a station wagon?
It's the Shaggin' Wagon, man.
Oh, see, I guess I haven't got a good look at it. I did know that it was a wagon, though, I guess, but I didn't realize it was the Shaggin' Wagon.
Gonna be interesting to talk to him about that. A pretty unique setup he's got for his car for the 2016 season. We're going to talk to him a little bit about that. And then all of our other guests, our three young guns joining the program tonight. We interviewed all three of those at the Arnott Mall, and as you may have seen last week, we had some technical problems with the recording from that last weekend, so we were unable to air any of that content, so we brought him on the program tonight to get a chance to talk to all those young drivers. And we said it at the mall, Clint, and we'll say it again before we dive into the interviews tonight. This is just great for the sport to have these young drivers coming in and making an impact right away.
Yeah, especially ones that come from a racing heritage, such as the Petrobowskis. All the way from great grandpa on down. It's always been in their blood, and to have AJ to be able to keep his kids going and keep the dynasty alive is something that I plan on doing in the future, and it's just a great thing for the sport.
No doubt about it. And Clint, before we head off to our first break of the show, we've been throwing the pictures up, doing the countdown every day until opening day, and coming up on Thursday when we're 22 days away from opening day, we've got a special throwback picture that I think you and the team over there at the Cleveland camp will take interest in.
Oh, I can't wait. I love the old throwback stuff, and to see him up on the website and knowing that we're going to run full-time this year is for the championship is a great thing.
Absolutely. Talk to us real quick here about your guys' preparations for so far.
We're just about ready. We're just gathering up the parts to finish the car, waiting on a drive shaft, and picking the fenders up Thursday, and then we can start putting it back together, and we'll be ready for opening night.
Very cool. Very cool. Are you guys taking advantage of any practice time?
I don't know if we'll be down there for practice night. We're gonna work on it, but it all depends on the weather. His garage isn't the warmest to work out of, so we're pretty close on the setup. So if we gotta go opening night to get there, then that's so be it.
All right, very good. Well, we're going to step aside here. We've got to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to have AJ Petrobowski Jr. join the program to talk to us about his 2016 season as he gets ready to campaign in the Woodhull Warrior Division, sponsored by Doherty Auto Sales and Service down at the Woodhull Raceway. We're going to talk to AJ Jr. next here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time. What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi race fans, this is Kelly Hebing and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Clint Miller sitting alongside Brad Ovens. We're trying to get Steven back on track here. Still with me, Brad?
Yeah, we're here. Getting that old Skype fired back up. Technology these days, it's a great thing and it's a curse. All in one.
Yeah, you got that right. We got any new news coming up, Brad, that you know of? Anything from Canandaigua?
You know, I haven't heard anything out of Canandaigua. I've been out doing some home draws at work, and I've gotten a chance to drive by the facility. And I tell you, the facility doesn't look all that bad. They canceled their April 2nd opener, which I can see. They've got a lot of grassy area, and they've always had issues with haulers coming in and out and the ground being soft. So I can see where they would have some issues there. But as far as the track goes, the track looks beautiful. Track looks beautiful so far. Looks like it might be a little soft as well still, but other than that, I mean, the facility looks great, and I think they're going to have a good opener come the 16th.
Yeah, everybody kind of looks forward to the Canandaigua opener. They seem to open up a little bit earlier than everybody else, so it's one of those things that if Canandaigua opens up, it's everybody else around the corner is opening up, and we all have that obviously to look forward to. Do we have AJ on the line yet?
Yeah.
Hey, good to hear you. AJ Petrobowski Jr. joining us, going to run the Woodhall Warriors this year. We had him on the show, as Steven said, before we went to break, and then we had the technical difficulties. AJ, looking forward to running this year. Tell us about the car.
When we first got the car, it was kind of a piece of junk car. The people who sold it to us, they're really good people, but when we first got it, the frame was kind of rotted out on the rear end and stuff like that. But other than that, it was a pretty good, decent car.
Well, from helping your dad build cars year after year that sometimes the best laid plans don't always work out like you want them to. But you guys were able to to fix all that and make a pretty solid car for you.
Yeah, now it's looking pretty good. My grandpa, he rebuilt the whole entire back frame pretty much. I mean, it looks way better than it did when we first got it. It's just kind of a miracle.
AJ, with this being your first year this year, talk to us a little bit about some of the advice they've been giving you. I imagine this is the first time you've had to learn how to shift a car.
Yeah, the only thing I've ever really drove in was a go-kart, and the advice they're giving me is just to kind of take it easy for the first couple of weeks until I get a hang of it, and then once I do, try to go out and win some races and have fun.
Now, what you talked about racing the go-kart before. Tell us a little bit about where you got your start, where you started out racing.
Well, that's kind of funny. The first year I've ever raced, it was in 2008, I think. I was really young, and I didn't really like the helmet feel, so I kind of didn't race that year. But then I came back 2 years later and kind of was just on fire at Cook's Motor Speedway. They're closed now. But
and now, as you go over to Woodhall, I know that certainly your family's got a lot of experience, both on asphalt and on dirt. And I imagine that you've seen Woodhall before. What do you think some of the challenges are going to be racing there this year?
One of the challenges, I think, is coming into turn 3 and 4 and coming out of 1 and 2. Coming out of 1 and 2, there's that kind of banking to go up over the backstretch, which you don't want to do at all. And coming out of 3 and 4, there's the fear of the wall being right there. But I think I can get over that.
The other unique thing is that you're going to be racing alongside your sister this year. So how's that been panning out in some of the family conversation?
It's kind of a little rivalry we went through. Same who's going to win the most.
That's certainly something that I think will be fun to watch this year. You guys had your cars on display down at the mall, got to meet a lot of people down there, I'm sure. I imagine that's kind of got you guys pumped up for the season.
Yeah, it really did. And, we're just looking forward to having fun and doing our best this year, trying to win as many races as we can as a team.
And what's your guys' schedule look like? I know that you guys have plans to run Woodhull. Is that going to be a full-time schedule at Woodhull?
Yeah, well, we only raced 11 times, and, I mean, you got to kind of plan out for about 3 rainouts. As you look at last year, there was about 4 or 5 at Woodhull. And we might go up to Black Rock a couple of times. We don't know yet.
Well, that'll be a pretty good experience there for the first year. I know this was a question we asked you down at the mall show, so I'll try and ask that again of you. Who's going to be the person that you're going to turn to for advice racing over at Woodhull?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of good racers in my family, like my Uncle TJ and my grandpa, obviously, my dad, all them people. I'll probably ask a lot of questions from them, especially my dad, because he's raced there a lot at Woodhull. And my grandpa, he's raced there a few times, too.
A little family history there with the track, but I know that one place you guys have spent a lot of time at is a place that opens up here not too long from now over at Chemung doing some of the asphalt racing.
Yeah, that's my grandpa's primary track. That's where he won his last championship at till he retired last year. He's raced there for a long time, probably since he's first started racing. And my dad, he's raced there a lot too, and so is my Uncle TJ, like I said.
We saw your paint scheme down at the Arnott Mall, that beautiful black, pink, and blue with the 72 on the side. Was out of your family members that race as well, was there any of those that your paint scheme followed? I mean, I know the 72 has always been a tradition there in the family, but was the specific paint scheme on your car, did that follow any of the family members?
Yeah, actually, it's the same exact paint scheme as we went with my grandpa's last year. So if you look at the pictures from his asphalt street stock and then you look at a picture from mine, it'll be identically the same, except for, like, the name and stuff, but that's different.
Now, AJ, you're getting ready to end the segment here. Why don't you let us know some sponsors are helping you out and people are helping you build the car.
Like I said earlier, my grandpa and my dad, we have SBR Frank Brockway Roofing, BA Motorsports. They've really helped us out this year with some parts. And other than that, that's about it. All that I can think of. I don't kind of doing it out of our own pockets and trying to come up with what we can.
Yeah, it's tough when you're just starting out. But you know, I believe it in my heart that you know, your dad's mind's in the right place, and you know, for this. And once you guys start doing better, and people see what you got going on, then I believe that the sponsorships will start coming, and you know, and then on to bigger and better things. We can hope, right?
Yeah, and we're not really planning way ahead, but we're hoping that we can get me somewhere. Trying to go up the bracket.
Yeah, I understand that, man. All right, AJ Petrobowski Jr., thanks for being on, and man, we can't wait to watch you on the high banks at running the Woodhull Warriors this year in 2016. Thanks a lot, bud.
No problem.
Yeah, I tell you what, Clint, you know, the last name, Petrobowski, I think he's going to be one to watch for out there because, you know, we see all these kids come up from the go-karts, make the transition to the full-size cars, and I mean, we've seen some of the people that, you know, I remember specifically at Frozen Ocean back in the day, a guy named by the name of Tim McCready was out there running go-karts against us. So, the go-kart's a good place to start, and you never know where they'll take you.
No, that's for sure. I never got into the whole go-kart thing. I was always at the racetrack every Friday night with my dad, from, when I was just 4 or 5 years old, when guys were getting ready to start in the, in the karting. I was already at the racetrack, and never made that. I like to go over and watch over to Paradise Speedway, and, I know my kids want to get into it, and I'm pretty soon I'm going to be looking around for somebody I can catch on the coattails and get them in a bandit car with somebody that's already running in the adult class.
There you go. All right. Well, race fans, we're going to be back after a commercial break here. We got Kaylee Petrobowski coming up on the hotline. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN, the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Max Dairy Bar is a proud supporter of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Opened in 1974, Max Dairy Bar has been a Penn Yan, Cayuga Lake, and Yates County staple, serving the best Hershey's hard ice cream. They also have soft serve ice cream, their weekly yogurt special, sorbet flavors, gluten-free options, frozen Greek yogurt, and non-dairy lemon ice. Don't forget about their tricky 18-hole putt-putt course that will test your skill to see if you have what it takes to be a champion. Max Dairy Bar and Mini Golf, located on State Route 14A, just south of the village of Penn Yan, right on the way to Black Rock Speedway on Friday nights. Visit them online at www.maxdairybar.com or Max Dairy Bar on Facebook and Twitter. Stop by Max Dairy Bar and tell them Turn 5 Live sent you.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is Nick Cooper, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
All right, welcome back to Turn 5 Live. I want to thank Nick Cooper there. You can check out Nick. He's going to be racing a 360 sprint car this year. Check him out on the circuits. I want to mention Max Dairy Bar coming back on board for 2016 here with us at Turn 5 Live. Want to thank them, and remember, every Friday on your way to the racetrack, stop on 14A and get yourself a nice ice cream cone from Max Dairy Bar, proud sponsor here with Turn 5 Live. Now we're going to throw it back over to the Race Chaser Online hotline. We're going to bring Kaylee Petrobowski in. Kaylee, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. Thanks for joining us. How excited are you guys to get to move up into the Woodhull Warrior division this year?
We're really excited. It's going to be a big step going from little go-karts to big stock cars.
Yeah. You had some fun working out on the race cars, getting the cars ready for the year?
Yeah, I'm just learning now because I don't really know as much as my brother, but I'm getting there.
You're getting there, yeah. And I know we when we talked to you down at the Outlaw or the Arnott Mall show, you were mentioning that you had to go out and get some work with that 5-speed using the clutch and taking off and getting the shifting down. Had any work on that yet so far?
Me and my brother are going with my dad to learn how to shift this weekend, actually, so it should be interesting.
Yeah. I can remember the days when Steven and I were learning the 5 speeds, getting ready to get into our days at the Bandits at Black Rock, and I can tell you it's definitely interesting. But once you get the feel down, you'll get it pretty quick.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people. They said that just to like take it easy, but once you get the hang of it, it's like nothing.
Yeah, you got to start out on a hill first, the biggest, steepest hill you can find, Kaylee, and then that'll be the one you got to start out on. No?
Yeah, a lot of people, like my dad and my cousin, said that the hardest part is getting out and like back off of the track.
All right,
now
tell me. Okay, go ahead, Brad.
Now, let's talk about some of the racing background. I know your brother said he's raced the go-karts. You've raced the go-karts as well. What are some of the accomplishments you've had in the go-karts?
I won a points championship 2 years in a row, and I've had a lot of wins. I don't know how many, but there's a lot.
Yeah, I can tell you, Steve and I have had our fair share of trophies. We used to have an attic at one of our old houses that was just full of trophies. And we started at one end and went all the way to the other end. But we can relate with you there.
Yeah, my brother and I both have boxes full of trophies from like forever ago.
All right, Kaylee, this is Steve. Steve coming at you here. Talk to us about one of the biggest challenges is going to be this season racing with the big car.
One of the biggest challenges is probably going to be that a stock car is much more wider than a go-kart, so it's going to feel different and probably going to take a while for me to like get the hang of the turns and stuff like that. And the shifting is going to be a really big,
And talking about your car too, as I understand it, I believe your car is a front-wheel drive compared to AJ's rear-wheel drive. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a Ford Mustang, I believe.
Oh, okay. So both of you are in Mustangs. Okay, gotcha. So as far as that goes, when you guys were racing in the go-karts and things like that, did you guys ever really compare notes as far as your setups go? And do you think you'll do that in the bigger cars now?
Most likely. AJ, I don't know, he's really competitive, and he's like, oh, I have this better than you, and stuff like that, so...
So it's going to be a sibling rivalry this year.
Oh, yeah, that's already started.
Now, I know that when we talk to him, he is so excited about racing, and from what we've seen on social media, it sounds like you are as well. And I love that you guys have the goal coming in this year that you guys want to win as many races as possible. I feel like a lot of young drivers probably come into this thinking, if we can just run well and put it on the trailer in one piece every night, we'll be happy. But you guys want to come out and win races.
Yeah, we want to win a lot of races, but we also just want to make sure that we have fun. Like, we don't want to have too much drama or anything like that. Like, we don't want to fight with anyone. We just want to have fun.
Yeah, definitely. Talk to us about some of the crew guys that have helped you guys put all of this together. We'll talk sponsors and a post I saw on Facebook in a little bit. But who are some of the folks that help you guys out in the shop?
I only have one sponsor right now. It's Greg Molt for ProZines, and he lettered my car. And then the only people that really work on my car is me, my dad, and my grandpa. We don't really have that many people right now.
Gotcha. So I'm sure that with that being said, you guys take a lot of pride in what you guys have put together. Those cars down at the mall show were just beautiful.
Yeah, my car took a while to get put together, like probably 3 or 4 months. AJ's worked along like pretty quickly. He's on top of that.
Gotcha. Talk about, I know you guys want to come out and have fun and win some races along the way. Is that really the main goal for this season, is to go out and be competitive and have fun, or are there any other goals, things that you'd like to accomplish?
It's mainly just to have fun because it's my first year as well as AJ's, but it'd be nice to have like a few feature wins, but I'm not too worried about it.
Well, that sounds good. Anything else that you'd like to mention tonight? I know that you guys are still actively searching for sponsors to come on board with your car, and what could you say for anybody listening tonight that might be interested?
Just that AJ and I work really hard in our cars, and like we take a lot of pride in it, and we're really determined. And it'd be nice to have sponsors to help us along the way.
Very good, very good. Well, we appreciate your time joining us tonight. Look forward to seeing both of you guys out at the track, and I know for sure you guys are going to have a lot of fun doing it, and doing it with family, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, it's a family thing.
All right. Very good. Well, good luck this season, Kaylee. We'll see you down there at Woodhall.
All right, thank you.
All right. Kaylee Petrobowski joining us on the line here tonight. And Clint and Brad, I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a racing family that's got a lot of history in the sport, and two young drivers that, I'll tell you what, man, they are ready to go. They are confident, but I don't think overly confident, but I think they've got just the right amount of experience behind the wheel, albeit in a go-kart, and the confidence and the family support. I think they're really going to do well this year.
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you said that they were, competitive, because, we've said all along, we've known the Petrobowskis since I was going to the track. I won't date myself, but and they've always been good runners, and they've always been, top tier, fighting for championships. Great guys most of the time. Just like anybody else in the racetrack, everybody's got their their bad moments, and the ones they have the rivalry with, and it's part of racing. But everybody, you walk out that way, and you walk in next Friday, and you're friends again. That's just the way it is. And the Petrobowskis are ones to be there.
Oh yeah, and obviously, Stephen, you can probably relate to this like I can. My first year and a half in the four-cylinder, it was a little intimidating, to switch from the go-kart right up into the big car, but that first time you drove it hard in the corner and it stuck, and you made a good solid corner in the car, it really gave you that confidence. Okay, man, I'm going to try a little harder next time, and a little harder next time, and finally you fine-tune it, and you found that edge that you kind of can't go over, but you're always pushing that edge, and I don't think it'll take those two kids along with like you were talking, the family history that they have.
Brad, you talk about, the first time out in the car and getting used to all of that and everything. What was the biggest challenge for you coming from the go-karts up into this full-size car? Was it just getting comfortable with, letting the car do what it needed to do?
For me, my first year, when we shared the car, the blue four-cylinder that we had there, it wasn't even the car. It wasn't even my own car. It was all the other cars around me, and the way that they handicap and start the features, being that I was newer and I would usually finish towards the back of the pack, means you started at the front of the pack each week. So when I was doing that, it kind of was intimidating to, I wasn't on the gas as hard as all the other cars behind me. So I would have cars going 2 and 3 wide, splitting me going into turn 1 and out of 2 and down the backstretch on the first lap. And I used to just kind of let off the gas and let everybody by, and then just race my own race. And it took a while, and it even took our Uncle Bruce came over and kind of swatted me in the back of the helmet and said, "What the heck are you doing out there? You're out here to race. You're not here to lollygag around." So, and it was incredible, because the first time I really stepped on it and I really gave it to it and let the car eat going down the straightaway, I kept up with John Wallenbeck, who was one of the top ringers of the class, and we raced down the front stretch, and I beat him into turn 1, and I came in, and Uncle Bruce said, "Look at that, you beat the points leader to, you basically outran him down the straightaway." So it was kind of an eye-opening, and kind of my my experience of, hey, wow, that's really all there is to it, is you really just got to push it.
We're about to step aside here, but I don't want to leave Clint out, because Clint's had some time behind the wheel as well. What was the biggest challenge for you starting out on that big track, Clint?
Same thing. Yeah, you know, I never had the experience of go-kart to four-cylinder and learning the four-cylinder. I jumped right into, you know, a super stock, and it was the same thing. I don't know how fast to go into the corner. I don't know when to hit the brake. I don't know when not to hit the brake, and learning how to dodge accidents at the speeds was a big thing. And one I didn't dodge and tore up a front clip of a car, and it's just really, there's so much to learn, and if you don't do it week in and week out, year after year, you can still learn 3 or 4 years into it. So it's always a learning game.
No doubt about it. Guys, let's step aside here. We've got another young driver, another young lady racer going to join us on the line. Cheyenne LaBarre out of Prattsburg, New York, is going to join us in our next segment here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speeds, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a
left.
You
are not going to
then
believe
what you're
this.
going to do is turn
Marcy
onto Marcy
and Brad
Avenue
just broke up,
and go past
and apparently
the first 3
she's
lights,
happy
and
about
then
it.
take the next left.
I don't really
Then
think
drive
she's
5 more
happy,
blocks,
but
and you should be
who am
there.
I to judge, right?
Park
anyway,
on the right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is the voice, Shane Andrews of the Big Block Modified Super Dirt Car Series, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Oh, yeah, baby. Shane Andrews putting it up on the chip for us here. Sailing it off into Turn 1 here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stephen Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens, all joining you on the program here tonight. And we're going back off to the Race Chaser hotline to bring in our next driver, another young gun, we'll say, and another pretty successful lady racer in her own right. Cheyenne LaBarre joins us from Prattsburg here on Turn 5 Live. Cheyenne, great to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we had you on the program tonight. We've been through this process once, so I appreciate your willingness to give us some time on the show tonight so we could get this interview in, because I really had a lot of fun talking with you and the Petrobowski kids down at the Arnett Mall. You guys are the drivers that, kind of carry the future of this sport. And for somebody young like yourself, does that put any pressure on you as a driver, knowing that the young drivers are the future of the sport?
Most definitely. The fact that a lot of the younger kids who are the future as well look up to us, the younger drivers, to set a good example for them.
Oh, absolutely.
And
have you found that already, that there's even younger drivers than yourself that look up to you?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. Talk to us about how you got started in racing, because I think your story of how you got started is quite similar to what we hear from a lot of young drivers.
Well, it started out, my dad and I, we were supposed to run together, starting out as I was going to be going on to 14. He ended up having a tractor-trailer accident, so he can't ever run again. But he definitely was the biggest reason why I wanted to start running race cars. And then families and friends who also run the cars definitely wanted me to get in the car.
Where was what do you remember what the first racetrack was that you ever watched a race from?
That was Black Rock.
Gotcha. So, with them having a youth, the Bandit division, that gave, that would in the future give you an opportunity to get into a race car at an even earlier age.
It's definitely an amazing experience instead of having 20 cars coming at you if you end up spinning out because you don't know exactly what to do. It's definitely a good experience if you're a young driver who wants to start. Definitely a good class to start in.
Did you feel that you made improvements throughout your learning year in the Bandit division?
I think so. I started running in the very, very back when I first started, and then after I started figuring it out more, I started running up with the boys. So.
Now, you mentioned running with the boys, and I know that was something that you worked hard on all season long, is getting comfortable racing with the boys in the class, and I'll tell you what, by the end of the year, you were really giving them a good race for every position. Talk to us about that experience.
It was definitely kind of difficult at times because the car didn't want to handle right, but after the guys started working on the car more and figuring it out, it definitely helped me out. Sometimes the guys wanted to get a little bit pushy, but we got through it. So
you just have to give it back to them, right?
Yep. Everybody's a guy out there.
Yeah, that's right. You're rebuilding for this season, but in talking to you at the mall, I know that you're coming back with the same car. But talk to us about what you guys are doing as far as any work that you've done in the off season or any updates, things like that.
We've updated a lot of the car under the hood and throughout the entire car for safety. Mainly, we had to change a couple things that weren't the safest last year. We got all those fixed up. We got another new paint job. We still have the Brandon Last Memorial going on with the car, which I plan to keep for a long time.
Tell us a little bit about that, if you can.
Brandon was a really close friend of mine, and he ended up passing away due to a car accident, and his basketball number was 42, so that inspired me racing. He's good at racing numbers, so I figured I'd use that and make the car a memory of him.
Awesome. Did you have a number? Yeah, I mean that, Clint. We covered that story earlier this season. That story of how her number came about. But Cheyenne, I want to ask you. Did you have a number in mind before you decided to do that with the number 42?
I was going to race the number my dad was planning to, which was 58. But once I figured about Brandon, that kind of was more important to me.
And is that something that you plan on, carrying out through your whole racing career? Is that the idea?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Clint. Those are the kind of stories that I love, to be able to bring to the program here, bring to our listeners, because these are the kind of stories that you don't get by just sitting in the stands to come watch the races, or even if you're over in the pit area. Some of these stories just don't get told unless they got a venue like here on Turn 5.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a reason why, and some of the reasons why are real special. special, and she has one, and it's really touching, and to know that she's going to carry that number forever it's real meaningful.
Cheyenne, when we talked to you at the Arnott Mall, we talked a little bit about your schedule for the season and what you guys are looking to do. Tell our listeners what you guys are looking to do as far as scheduling.
As of right now, we're planning to run at Outlaw Speedway every Friday and at Woodhull every other Friday.
Gotcha. Have
right
you
now,
ever
just
had a
those
chance to race at Woodhull before?
I ran over there 2 or 3 times last year, and it was pretty fun.
You talk about two tracks that I don't think could be any different from one another. What was it like behind the wheel for you?
It was actually a lot different for me. There's a lot more banking over there, and you can't quite push the car as hard coming into corners and out of them, or else you're going to go over the edge. But a lot more control over there than you do at Black Rock.
It's more of more of a driver technical type of track over at Woodhull. You know, being just a 3rd mile bull ring, you've really got to hustle that car through the corner.
Definitely. Following your line over there is very important as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think there's 2 better tracks in New York State that you could, take your car out on and go out and learn on, with Outlaw being the high speed, smooth, running your line, keeping a line, and then you go down to Woodhull and just the high banks and having to really finesse it and work the gas and not go over the edge on the backstretch. I think it really helps. It helps develop drivers.
I agree 100% with that.
Cheyenne, talk to us about what goals do you have set? I know this is going to be your rookie campaign with the adult division. So, with that being said, what kind of goals do you have in mind this year?
I'm hoping to be in at least the top 10 for Outlaw, and at least finishing every race at least in the top 10 if I can for both tracks.
How about any goals you have in mind for Woodhull?
Woodhull, just trying to get used to the track more so I can run it more in the future. More seat time is mainly what Woodhull's going to be used for.
Well, that'll be great. Talk to us about the folks that help you out and any sponsors you guys have on the car.
The folks that help me out is mainly Mike Mentz, my dad, with all this knowledge that he has, my brothers, Jason Knowles, Sparky Hill, Erica Bell, Bob and Bert Buno, Desi Force and her dad, Chris. And for sponsors, Andy and Dave Dubois from Colonial Motors, Goodyear from Corning, Ray's Mobile Food Truck, Speedway Performance, Bring Your Skin Out of Bath, and Adrian and Son.
Very cool, Cheyenne. I appreciate you giving us some of your time tonight to be on the show, and we're looking forward to seeing you out at the track.
Thank you.
All right, Cheyenne Labar joining us on the Race Chaser Online hotline here tonight. And Brad, I'll swing over to you here. We've got a couple minutes before our next break here, and we're going to have Steven Deinhardt on the program here at 8:30. Cheyenne Labar, Brad, driver that to me, from my vantage point in the announcer's booth, leaps and bounds of improvement last season at Outlaw Speedway. From the first race she was out on the track trying to navigate being in a full-size car, to the end of the year where she was scoring top 3s left and right and really giving those boys in the division a run for their money. I'm looking forward to seeing her progress this year.
Oh, yeah. Come the end of last year, she was diving holes, cutting and slicing. She wasn't afraid to rub paint and trade paint and, trade some rubber going down the straightaways. And, she made a couple moves that, I kind of laugh because I hear all the grown men behind me all groaning, oh, you can just, you can tell the pucker factor hit a little high on that corner entry. But yeah, no, she has, and I think that's great to see the kids out there that are willing to put the cars in places that they put them in last year. Really shows a lot of potential.
And again, Clint, bring you in here. That we go back to that all the time with the Bandit division. This is where you learn that stuff. This is where you learn what the car will handle, what it won't. And she talked about it racing at Woodhall. If you push it too far, you're going to slip over the edge. And I think her running both places, that's going to help her even more.
Yeah, actually, Woodhall was the first track that I ever raced at in 2002. So I know what she's saying, because turn 3 seemed to be a little bit different than turn 1, whether the lights were a little darker or whatever, but you had to hit your line every time. It was real easy to spin out. And so she's going to be on a gigantic learning curve, and it's going to be awesome.
And before we hit the break here, Clint, your opinion, is Outlaw Speedway a more forgiving track if you have a bad corner, if you miss your mark hitting corner entry or coming off the corner? Is Outlaw more forgiving than Woodhall, or do you think it's about the same?
No, actually, I think it's less forgiving, because Outlaw Speedway is such a momentum racetrack. If you get really turned up in the corners, turned sideways, slowed way down, you're going to lose a lot of ground to the guys ahead of you. If you get really crossed up at Woodhall, you can angle your corners out a little bit different and not lose so much time. I mean, that's my opinion. So, but I think that the momentum at Outlaw hurts you a lot worse than at Woodhall.
All right, fair enough. We're going to step aside here. Steven Deinhardt going to join us on the other side of the break. Already got his first win of the year out at Penn Can Speedway. He joins us next here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the Track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ball in street? Girl in street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more. But the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives and so should you.
Motorsports sales professionals. Performance Motorsports is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444, or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Hi, race fans. This is Brett Deo, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Brett Deo bringing us back from commercial break here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network. I'll tell you what, Brett Deo's been a busy little guy this past month, trying to get Georgetown opened up. They've already had their first Short Track Super Series South event. They've got another one coming up Sunday, April 17th, and I'm sure we'll be talking to Brett more about that. And they get ready to kick off the North Series this weekend, Clint, at Orange County, OCFS, our old friend. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. We've got Steven Deinhardt on the line, sponsored by Race Chaser Online, joining us tonight. Steven, thanks for having us having you on the program tonight.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's start off with congratulations. I understand you guys had a great run out at Penn Can this weekend.
Yeah, we took it down for practice, and they wound up having a race after practice, and the car was okay during practice, and it didn't shape up too good in the heat yet. We made a few spring and shock changes, and the car really came around good for us.
Now, I have to ask you, because this is something, and actually maybe I'll get Brad or Clint on this to find a picture of his car from the Syracuse Motorsports Expo and share it on our page so fans listening in can take a look at your car if they haven't seen it yet. But boy, you guys have got a little bit different body style going on this year. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, I don't know, about time of the Empire 100 last year, I got, thinking about the next season, and I always try to be different in what I do, and I thought, well, what way to make it different than have a station wagon? You don't see those around, So I took it down to Nitro Fabrication and Joel Batesel there, and he hooked us right up, brought my vision to life. He's an excellent fabricator, and it turned out really well, I think.
So how tricky was that, or was it tricky at all? Because I know that you probably have to look at the different tracks that you're going to race at as far as the rules specifications. Was there any tricks to making that all work for you?
There was a couple tracks that specified like no El Caminos and no station wagons, but I talked to those few promoters, and they kind of giggle at the old rule. These rule books haven't been changed for a long time, but everybody's acceptive. Everybody really likes to change. My car actually in its original road state was a station wagon, so we brought it back to stock. So that's last year we had a Camaro body, and this year we went back to what it knows.
Gotcha. Was there, you talked about having the practice session before the race this past weekend and some of the changes that you had to make. Were the changes that you needed to make, were they specific to, having the station wagon body now, or was that just something that you would have had to change regardless of body style?
Well, I think regardless of body style, we went into Penn Can with kind of the same setup we run at the Turkey Bowl at what is now the Outlaw Speedway, and that track can carry a little more speed. It was real sticky that day, so we had it sprung a little heavier than usual. So we lightened the springs up and made it stick a little better for Penn Can's condition.
Is Penn Can a track that you normally race weekly, and if not, where do fans find you weekly?
Penn Can, I've had past championships at Penn Can. I've been going to Thunder Mountain since Crossbone Howard took it back over. They can, we're going to race a limited schedule at Thunder Mountain this year, and we're going to follow the Starks Fight Night Series for the street stocks, and pop in and out here and there. We're not really going to chase any track championships. We're going to try to chase that series championship, and just have fun with it. We've been on the grind for the last few years, just chasing track championships, and we've done that, and now it's time to try a little bigger stuff.
How, for a team like yours, and I know a lot of other teams out there, how big was it for the Starks to come out with the Fight Night Series? And and really promote something. I mean, yes, we had the ROC street stocks for a little while, but I mean, this is, to me, seems like a whole different thing. How big is that for the street stock contingent?
Oh, I think it's great. Everybody focuses on the modifieds and the sportsmen, the big classes. We're just the average guys that want to race also, and we want to play with some of the big money shows and do that kind of thing. So I think it's great that they're putting together a nice series so we can travel a little bit, and there's a common rule for the series instead of trying to meet everybody else's home track rule book. So I think it's great. It's a big thing for me.
Definitely. Is there is there any tracks on that tour that you haven't been to yet?
No, I can't say there is. I've raced, I-88 Thunder Mountain. There's one at 5 Mile, Skyline. I've raced all the tracks on that tour. So,
Gotcha.
We obviously not this car on those tracks, but I've been there. I know the facilities. So
sure.
I think the only one I haven't won at. What's that?
Oh no, go ahead.
I think the only one I haven't won at is the Skyline. So, but the rest of them I've got. I got a race win at Woodhull, and I got. I think I've got some heat wins at Black Rock or Outlaw, and we're usually quick there. So everything should come together, and hopefully we should have a real good shot at it.
When we at least the first time I got to meet you was at the Empire 100 last fall, and I don't know if you'll remember this or not, but there was a pretty cool story about a lap sponsor that you won during the 100. If you remember that, can you refresh my memory on that story?
Yes, I absolutely do remember that. I don't remember the lap. I think it was lap 97 because it was in memory. The lap sponsor was in memory of Fat Rat Larry DeLello. He built my first new street stock, and he was just an icon in the sport. And you guys handed me that envelope, and that just one of those things that give you the shivers, And I still to this day haven't opened that envelope. That's in my safe, and I don't even know what's in it. It's just in my safe.
No kidding. Still sealed up in the envelope.
Yes, sir. Yep. Put it above the visor in the hauler on the way home. Brought it right in. Put it in the safe.
Wow.
It could be $1 million check in there. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's in the safe, and it's going to stay there.
Oh, that's cool. Clint Miller, I'll tell you what, that gives me goosebumps, man. That's cool.
I told you.
Larry was awesome.
Yeah, I told you during Cheyenne's interview, everybody's got a story, and this story right here, I remember every word of it when we were giving away the lap money, and there was a couple coincidences. I think Jeremy Petrovowski got the KB graphics, which was funny because Jeremy's sponsors Greg Molt, and,
yeah,
so and then Steve came up and told that story of Larry DeLello, and I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
it was really awesome. I actually told the story last week at one of our men's club meetings, so that everybody got a kick out of that because Larry's brother-in-law goes to that, and so he got to share it with his family. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. That's the thing that I think folks that might be casual fans or not really even race fans, these are the kind of things that I don't think people realize is it is so much more than guys jumping behind the wheel of whatever division car they race and driving fast and turning left and sometimes turning right when they've turned a little too far left.
Yeah.
But that is the cool thing about our sport for sure. Steve, talk to us about some of the folks that help you out and put their names on the side of the 73.
Oh man, I got a lot of good help. I got MGH Oil Field, which is Matt Hayes. He's my crew chief. And TPH Construction, which is Matt's father. He's at the track. He's been around racing a long time. Not always dirt racing. He's done a lot of asphalt racing in his life and crewed for some big names, heavy hitters in the ball game. He always helps us out a lot. Right Way Auto, which is Napa and Deposit. They're always helping us out with parts and getting us our oil and filters and everything we need. Faith Upstate Bed and Breakfast, Celebrations with Drew, Wheeler Excavating, which is my company, Nitro Fabrication. Obviously it wouldn't be done without Joel's know-how and getting us an excellent race car to race and making the body that everybody's, the buzz is about right now. Denny Decker Logging, my motor I got in now, Denny loaned to me 2 years ago. He said, take care of it. And, we've been running that. So, those are all, most of the people that help me out, but there's lots of others along the way. And my wife for letting me, dealing with me and doing it. So I got an excellent crew.
Steve, I appreciate having you on tonight. I know that, interviews probably wasn't the most comfortable thing for a driver like yourself. But I'll tell you what, man, you knocked it out of the park tonight.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Real quick before we end our time with you here, I know you said that you won championships and everything, but as we get ready to close here, is there any goals on your list that you'd like to scratch off before you hung the steering wheel up on the wall?
Well, I want to get that Fight Night Series this year. The Empire 100's been eluding me for a few years. I want to get some bigger trophies. I've won the Wade Decker. That was a pretty good one. That's a heartfelt, race from there because I've been friends with the Deckers all my life. But, any of the big stuff, I want to start hitting, getting some of the big races under my belt.
All right, man. We'll get through this season and we'll catch up with you again and see if you've crossed any of those off the list.
Super. Thank you.
All right. That is Steven Deinhardt joining us on the program tonight. Good stuff right there, guys. We'll talk a little bit more about it on the other side of the break. Here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. Now they're also an official motorsports content partner of Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for all their raw materials, such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much, much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is your #1 source for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the road to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit stockcarsteel.com and SRI-supplies.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, or call either company toll-free at 1-888-752-7272.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Hi, race fans. This is Mills Family Racing, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stephen and Brad Ovens, Clint Miller joining me on the program tonight. And Brad, I'll first turn to you. Stephen Deinhardt, boy, what a cool story that was about his story with the lap money from the Empire 100. I was not expecting to hear that. That was flat cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be something special to him to kind of see that turn full circle. And then, it's weird little things like that nobody can really explain of how it happens. And, it's a miracle.
Clint, bringing you in here, it was funny. I think the quote was, I don't know, that check could be made out for $1 million. I have no idea. It's in the safe.
Well, let me tell you something. He seems like a really good guy and all, but if he knew that check was $1 million, he'd be dancing all the way to the bank. Because I would be, and I'd make sure I left the envelope in the safe.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I'm totally with you on that one. And we did post over to the Turn 5 Live Facebook page, so if you haven't been over that way, and I don't know if we've had a chance to mention that we did change the name of our Facebook page. Just go into facebook.com and search Turn 5 Live. We have changed that from Turn 5 Racing Podcast over now to Turn 5 Live. So search that in Facebook. And we posted a picture of Steven's car from the Syracuse Car Show. And I'll tell you what a unique looking car that is. Now, Clint, he's got the station wagon body on it. They've put a lot of effort into that for this year. I don't know. I mean, is that really going to make that big a difference at all on his car?
I don't think it'll make a difference at all, honestly. I mean, it's a race car body. I mean, I don't know what advantage there is to it other than it's different and different's cool.
Oh, for sure. And his quote was awesome. I mean, he goes, hey, that was a station wagon chassis, so it's going back to stock. So what can you say? That was great stuff for sure. We'll have a feature on Steven coming up later this week on RaceChaserOnline.com, so be sure to check that out. Great interview there with Steven. And how about his schedule this year, Clint? I think this is cool. Here's Brad. Here's a guy who is coming out this year. He's already won championships before, so he kind of feels like we've been there, done that. Coming out this season, going after the Fight Night Tour, and trying to lock down some big races that as he said has been eluding him. That I think that's kind of cool because I think a lot of drivers, tend to get caught up in the points race, and for those guys, they've been there, done that.
Yeah, a lot of guys get complacent. Carl's raced for a long time. I'm not gonna do anything because Brad, he calls me out on being old and stuff, but he's never really followed a tour anything. He's always been a close-to-home guy, racing at his home track. We've deviled over to Woodhall. I've gone to 5 Mile Point and had really bad experiences down there, and not with anything, but we wrecked. When this year we're talking about getting him out and about, and we'd like to follow the Star Series, He did finally get a hauler that I think will be more than capable of getting us back and forth. So that's going to be one of our goals this year. So let's hope.
Yeah, with Steve, I think it's the perfect scenario for him to go after a Fight Night series because he's got the track championships. I hate to say it this way, but he's been there and he's done it. He's, like he said, he wants the bigger trophies now. And I think that puts him in a big advantage because he can now focus on bouncing around to different tracks, getting ready, getting a car set up in mind, tuning the car in. He can go, a couple weeks ahead of time and pick a track that he wants to go to get ready for the big race coming up. So I think that puts him in a big advantage.
Oh, absolutely, and Clint, we've seen that with several drivers before. Just having that ability to go race where you want, when you want, and not have that pressure. I mean, that's an ideal situation for a driver.
Yeah, we don't see it so much with the street stock guys. I mean, you see guys that dabble in it, race part time, like Carl did last year, 5 or 6 times, and that's it. But you never really see them. All right, I'm going to hit this race. I'm going to hit this race. Usually it's just, let's get the car ready. Let's go racing. It sounds like he's got a schedule. He knows what he wants. He knows what he's going to hit, and his preparedness is going to be second to none.
Absolutely. We're going to go into some World of Outlaw results from the past week, and there was only one race to really talk about, and that was at Placerville last Wednesday. And boys, I'll tell you what a story! What a story of coming back, looking a racetrack in the eye that put you on the shelf last season. Jason Johnson, and oh, by the way, I think one of the hosts of the show here might have even called that. Anybody? Crickets? 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 Jason Johnson, what a story, Clint. Comes out and gets a win at Placerville. He got the big victory over Darren Pittman, who also was hurt at Placerville last year. This was the race where Pittman broke, I believe, his collarbone and had him out for a couple of races that essentially put him out of the championship chase. A local competitor, Andy Forsberg, from the Chico area, came home in third. He had led a little bit of that race in the beginning stages. David Gravel, another good run for David Gravel. We talked about him in the last couple of weeks, saying you got a great opportunity, show us something here, and he did that. 4th place run for David Gravel. Brad Sweet came home in 5th. Greg Wilson, a guy that Clint said, hey, Greg Wilson, show me a little something here. He came home with a 6th place finish. Shane Stewart was 7th, Donnie Schatz 8th, Brian Clausen 9th, and Sean Becker the top 10 at Placerville. Clint Miller, reaction to Jason Johnson's win and Darren Pittman's 2nd at Placerville.
I think it's great. A year ago at this time, we didn't know how bad Jason Johnson was hurt. We didn't know if he'd walk. Getting in a race car was the furthest from anybody's mind. Something like that, all you do is think about the health of this young man. And for a year past that point, last week, to come out, be fast. I'm not sure if he dominated. I can't remember that far because I'm old, Brad. But to have him come out and do that, it's really awesome and a testament to him and his group to come out and be fast.
Brad, Jason Johnson joked with Pittman during the dash redraw, saying that he'd be happy just to walk out of Placerville no matter where they finished Wednesday night. But in all seriousness, for him to come back, get back up on the horse, face that track in the eye and say, you know what, I'm going to take one back from Placerville. What was your reaction to all of that?
Man, Clint, 2002. Boy. All right. So, yeah, no, I mean, that honestly, I think that sets him as a really great role model for everyone out here in the auto sport industry. You know, just to be able to get back into a car that could have potentially put you in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, you know, to come back out here and prove that, you know, I think that track owed him one, and he took it. And I think he and Pittman both took it.
Oh, he did, no doubt. And, you know, talking about another driver, Clint, that took one this weekend, how about Casey Kane getting a win at Lincoln? I mean, hey, if they could get some of that transferred over to the Cup car, my goodness, what a role they could be on.
Well, that was something that, you know, part of our roundtable discussion is that question there. And you're absolutely right. I mean, Casey Kane, people forget, Casey Kane is really talented. You're not seeing that right now. They've struggled the last couple years in the 5-car on the Cup Series. Comes up to Lincoln on a Saturday night, beats the hell out of the Pennsylvania posse, and takes home the win, fast all night long, you know. And to top it all off, he stayed and signed autographs until the last person was gone. It was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And so hopefully some of that confidence will carry over to the Cup side.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was great, man. I thought it was cool just on a basic level that Casey went and raced at Williams Grove, where, you know, they struggled early on, but then to go to Lincoln and just for him to be at the track, I mean, that's a huge deal for both of those tracks. You know, looking at it from a public relations perspective, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that gives something for the fans to be excited about. Not that the Central PA fans need anything to be excited about, because excited, I mean, their party is you know, their pregame is better than your party. I mean, I think that's how the saying goes anyway.
It's got to be close enough.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So, you know, hats off to Casey Kane for getting it done this weekend. Guys, we're going to talk about the upcoming schedules, tracks getting ready to open up. Hard Clay Open at OCFS coming up this weekend, part of the Short Track Super Series. We're going to talk about all of it, and maybe we'll even toss out some Orange County picks for this weekend in our next segment here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be, with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What? No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm going to do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up. See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time. What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
If you're a gearhead and you just can't get enough of your favorite motorsports on that channel on the cable, or you look at that Guy network and you just go, what does that have to do with me? We have the answer. Performance Motorsports Network. Right here on the internet. The best cruising tunes, the best in motorsports programming, and the best shows. We have opinionated hosts, and we like it that way. If you want to get involved, if you want to bench race, Be listening for information coming up soon right here on this channel, the Performance Motorsports Network, your source for motorsports.
Hi, race fans. This is Mel Thomas from Thomas Video, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Mel Thomas from Thomas Video bringing us back from commercial break. And Thomas Video and Mel had a nice presence out at the Brady Fultz race party this past weekend out in Dundee, showing some videos to the crowd and gave away a lot of nice videos as door prizes and raffle prizes. Brad, I know you were out there. I saw you for a little bit out there. Brady had a hell of a turnout there in Dundee.
Yeah, he did. Usually their parties are really good. Obviously, I don't know about you guys. I went there to support Brady, but I went there for the food because, the pulled pork is phenomenal. It's always funny you were mentioning seeing Brady in his apron pulling the pork. I hope I'm not spoiling any secrets there for you, Brady, but you look good in your apron, let's just say that.
Let's just say the man wears an apron well, and we'll leave it at that.
But yeah, no, it was a great party. I got a couple door prizes out of it, which is really cool. First time in 3 or 4 years of going to the party that I finally won something. But, they always have a huge table, 4 or 5 tables full of prizes and a lot of contributors and a lot of cool stuff up there. So it was a good time. Glad they had a good turnout.
We had a great turnout, good party out there, and we had a nice little party out there ourselves as we got a chance to talk with Malcolm Lane a little bit, who's getting ready to dabble a little bit into open wheel sprint car racing again, and fortunately for us, we were able to book Malcolm for next week's show. So mark it down on the calendars, folks. Tuesday, and how appropriate. Tuesday, April 5th. How appropriate. Malcolm Lane on the 5th of April.
Write it down. Put it on the calendars of your phone. Leave notes, stick-it notes all over the house. Paint your car in a stick-it note. You're not going to want to miss this show.
No, not at all. Malcolm Lane going to join us on next Tuesday's show. We'll have a preview and all that out on our Facebook page and out on the PMN Facebook page as well. Really, really, really looking forward to that interview. You want to talk about a guy who is just a legend in this area, not only in this area, but all across the Northeast. The guy's nickname is Mr. ESS, and you don't get the nickname Mr. ESS for just being a subpar driver. Malcolm Lane was dominant back in his own right, back in his days of running with the Empire Super Sprints. We'll talk to him about his storied racing career, and he's also loading up the car, taking him and his wife Cindy out to, I believe it's Terre Haute, for the USAC race this weekend out on the dirt in Indiana. They're going to go out and check all the things out, see what it's like to be a part of the USAC sanction and series and all that goes with that. So not only will we talk to Malcolm about his racing career and racing endeavors, we'll get his comments on everything he saw and things that maybe he learned out at Terre Haute as they get ready to dabble in USAC in 2017. He's going to talk to us a little bit about that next week. So Clint's right. Write a Post-it note down, set an alert on your calendar, do whatever you got to do, because that interview is one that I am really, really looking forward to. Malcolm Lane going to be here on Turn 5 Live next Tuesday night. Probably going to be our 7:45 interview, right, to kick off the show. So looking forward to that. We talked about, right before we went to break, Clint, we talked about races coming up, tracks getting ready to open up here in a couple of weeks. One track that opens up this weekend, Orange County Fair Speedway, the Hard Clay Open, the opener for the Short Track Super Series North region. And I'll tell you what, Clint, we got to go out to this event a couple seasons ago. what a great event out there at Orange County on the hard clay. Small blocks versus big blocks. What a show it's going to be, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. The ride down was terrible, if you remember, right?
I do remember that.
Well, you'd have to remember because you were pretty much solo because I was passed out in the passenger seat.
Somebody had a little too much of the drinky.
We indulged a little bit, and I got to Orange County, and I had a big juicy burger at the racetrack, and I was good to go the rest of the day. The Hard Clay Open, I wish that I had known it was this weekend. Because I may have gone. I'm going with one of our Turn 5 guys, Jared Hill. He's going to get his race car lettered Saturday. I'm going to take the trip down with him, and not going to miss that. But I wish I had remembered that it was this weekend because we might have made some plans.
And where exactly about? Because I know this is going to be a new endeavor for Jared's graphics. Where exactly in PA is it?
Troy, PA.
Okay.
Same people that letter Glenn Rittenauer's late model.
Gotcha. That was right in center court if you were at the Arnott Mall car show. And I think in talking to them, because we provided some logos for Creekside Entertainment and Turn 5 Live, going to be on the 93 this year. That was their first opportunity to letter up a race car with the wrap. So I thought it turned out great. So good for those guys.
Yeah, really good, and I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Now, you guys are going down. Are you guys going to be able to kind of watch the whole process of that taking place?
I don't know the full details yet. I think that we can stand there, or we may, when Casey Pavlik took his Sportsman up, we may just, drop it off, maybe go get a bite to eat, hang out, find some whatever to do in the town, and and then go back in a couple hours. We'll have to wait and see what Jared wants to do.
There you go. Well, you could always go over and check out the progress at the Hills Speedway. They're going to be opening up for the season on April 22nd. I just saw that come across Race New York here in the last couple of days. Other tracks opening up this month. We talked a little earlier about Woodhall Raceway opening up on Saturday, April 16th with a practice session slated for April 9th, of all that, of course, weather permitting. Outlaw Speedway opening night, April 22nd, $3,000 mods, Lucas Oil ESS, Empire Super Sprints on hand there. You've also got a practice session on Friday, April 15th for them as well. If you're not interested in the practice session, if you want to go out and go racing, Canandaigua Motorsports Park opening up for the 2016 season that weekend as well, April 15th, as well as the 16th, the Race of Champions Dirt Modified Series. And boy, I'll tell you what, Clint, if that's not a pivotal race for the Race of Champions, I don't know what is. After what happened at Selinsgrove, and yes, there was a lot of factors into what happened down there, but I'll tell you, if that's not a crucial race in their series in the heart of Hoosier country, I don't know what is, my friend.
Yeah, I actually heard today that our friend over at Dirt Track Digest had a good article today about the ROC, and I gotta find out what was said, because apparently there's some pretty interesting information about the whole deal between Scott Nicky and Harpel.
Well, I did take a look at that today, and I mean, it's from a legal, it's from the legal point of view, but I don't know that there was necessarily anything in there that we learned that hasn't come out in the media already. I could be wrong, but I guess I didn't really, I was looking to learn something more about the situation, and I wasn't sure that what the lawyer, that they contacted, I wasn't sure that exactly happened, but.
Yeah, I don't, from what little bits that I'm going over here, and we'll get back to it after break, but this seems to be all financial, and I don't think we need to get into that here. That's that's between those guys and the articles that come out.
Yep, that's absolutely right. And when we come back here on Turn 5 Live, we'll step aside here. We're going to do our Turn 5 Roundtable, a little feature we've been doing on Race Chaser Online, and we're going to do it in our next segment. Going to give 4 big questions. You'll get answers from all 3 of us, and that's how we'll close it out as we get ready to take the white flag here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. Now they're also an official motorsports content partner of Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for all their raw materials, such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much, much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is your number one source for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the road to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit stockcarsteel.com and SRI-supplies.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, or call either company toll-free at 1-888-752-7272.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Hi, race fans. This is Matt Shepard, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Super Matt, bringing us back from commercial break here on Turn 5 Live as we take the white flag here on this week's episode, and we'll go into our Turn 5 roundtable, as it were, a segment that we started on Race Chaser Online last week, and something that we're going to continue to do on either weekly or semi-weekly basis anyway. We've got 4 big questions on tap tonight for our Turn 5 roundtable, and everybody will get a chance to go out with their opinion on it here. And so, boys, why don't you say we get right at it? Tonight's Turn 5 roundtable, and here we go. Question number 1. Jason Johnson won at Placerville last week on the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series after being hurt there in 2015. Clint Miller, is that the story of the year so far?
So far, it absolutely is. We talked about earlier in the show, you go from not knowing if you can walk, not knowing if you're ever going to drive, to winning at that same place the next year. It's got to be the feel-good story so far of 2016.
How about you, Brad?
Yeah, I've got to agree with Clint. Up to this point, I think that is the story of the year. I think it is that feel-good story that everybody wanted to see. It's kind of like that story or fairy tale ending to a long saga. 365 days. For him to come back and beat the track that almost beat him is a pretty good story.
I think I'm going to add for color here, guys. The fact that the fact that I love that Jason Johnson story. I mean, I wrote about it for Race Chaser Online over the weekend, but I'll tell you guys, the thing that I think so far is the story, even though I love the Jason Johnson story, I'm going with the story of the year so far being Kasey Kahne Racing. The way they came out and started the season after not really being as competitive as we expect them to be and not being on their game like we expect them to be last year. I kind of am still leaning toward Kasey Kahne Racing. Now, will it stick out through the whole season? Maybe, maybe not. But I think the fact that they've run the way they have, for me so far, that still edges out Jason Johnson. Let's move on to question number 2. And before we do so, Brad or Clint, any rebuttal to that?
No, I can see where that would play into it. But I'm still going with the individual accomplishment for Jason Johnson.
All right, moving on to question number 2. Again, kind of sticking with Kasey Kahne Racing that I was just talking about. Kasey Kahne picked up a win at Lincoln in a 4:10 sprint this past weekend. What did we learn from Kasey's victory? And I'll start with Clint.
Kid's still got a ton of talent, a ton of ability. He's fast. He went out and beat the Pennsylvania Posse Outlaws down there, and he needs to turn around his NASCAR career. Maybe this will be the thing that boosts him in the right direction.
How about for you, Brad?
Yeah, I kind of wonder if maybe, they always talk about Kyle Busch running the Xfinity Series, and he's a better driver when he runs the Xfinity Series because he wins 95% of the races. So, maybe Kasey Kahne could use the time at the dirt tracks to kind of boost himself, but, I'm not sure. Obviously, Kasey Kahne's got a lot of talent, and he can still wheel a car on the dirt, which says a lot for a guy, in my opinion. And hopefully this will be able to bleed over into the asphalt.
I'm with you, Brad. I don't know that we learned anything about the Cup car, the Farmers Insurance number 5, but I think we did learn that Kasey Kahne is a very talented driver. To just for the amount of races that he runs now a year, which is really not a lot, for him to just jump in a 4:10 sprint and say, you know what, we're going sprint car racing this weekend. It's an off weekend for the Cup Series. We're going racing. To come out in the second race, for him this year on the tour anyway, or up in Pennsylvania, and win at Lincoln. I mean, good grief, that's probably pretty talented driver right there to be able to do that. Question number 3 for tonight's Turn 5 Roundtable. Take it down to the Steuben County Bull Ring Woodhull Raceway. Woodhull Raceway will see Billy Van Pelt try for track championship number 18 in 2016. Brad Ovens, do you take BVP or the field this year? If you take the field, name a driver you look at to be Billy Van Pelt's main contender.
I am going with Billy Van Pelt. After our discussion and the couple of interviews that we've done and just sitting around and at the Arnott Mall show and talking with him and just seeing the state of mind that he's in and the kind of experience that he's got, it's almost like a cartoon. If experience was a blue cloud, there would be nothing but a pure blue cloud floating around this guy. And I'm going to go with Billy Van Pelt because I think he's on his game, and I just don't think anybody's going to be able to beat him.
How about for you, Clint? BVP or the field?
Just for argument's sake, I'm going to go with the field, and I'm going to go with Donnie Lawson because Donnie gave Billy a lot of headaches over the last couple of years, even winning a championship the last time Billy was beat. Billy's going to have a lot on his plate this year. He's running 2 tracks full-time for the first time in a long time. Not following the Brett Deyo Tour, but he's going to be running Outlaw Speedway on Friday nights, Woodall Saturday. Do I think it's going to take away from his preparation? Absolutely not. But I think if there is that possibility, that chance, then it could happen this year. All
right. Well, Clint took the driver that I was looking toward as being a driver that could contend, and I'll go with a different driver for color here, Clint, and that driver is Billy Van Pelt's nephew. I think that Dylan Groover is going to take the next step. I think he took a big leap last year to be a top 5 and really a top 3 contender until he had to step away and attend his sister's wedding. I think that, he took a big step last year. I think he takes an even bigger step this year. And I think it's going to be a family affair when it comes to contending for the championship. And I'll tell you this right now, I'm flat out looking forward to watching it from my perch high atop the tower in the announcer's booth, because I'll tell you, I think this is going to be a very fun season to watch, not only in the modified division, but all the divisions over at Woodhall. But when you're talking about the modifieds, I think Dylan Groover's got a little something to say about that championship this year. Moving on to question. Go ahead.
I don't know if he's ready yet. I mean, winning a championship is something, you have to learn how to do that. And, being a young age, I'm not saying that he can't. It's just going to be really tough to do when the week's winding down and the pressure that gets on you. So I'm not sure if he's ready for that yet, but you never know.
Oh, we'll see what happens. It's regardless, Clint, it's going to be fun to watch. I know
sure,
that.
Absolutely.
Moving on to our last question for tonight's Turn 5 Roundtable. The Rush Late Models at Outlaw Speedway. Who wins the most races in 2016? John Waters, Jeremy Wonderling, the Knowles brothers combined, or Bryce Davis and Frank Guerri Jr. combined? Clint Miller, give us your pick and tell us why.
I'm gonna go with number 11, Johnny Waters. He had great years at Black Rock Speedway when it was Black Rock with the 360 late model, and he just had that place figured out. And I believe the brothers Knowles are going to be right there on his coattail.
All right, turn it over to Brad Ovens. Out of those drivers, John Waters, Jeremy Wonderling, the Knowles brothers combined, or Bryce Davis and Frank Guerri Jr. combined, who are you taking and why?
I'm going to take Bryce Davis and Frank Guerri Jr. combined, and the reason why is I think Bryce Davis behind the wheel of that crate late model. I mean, the last couple of showings he's been really strong at the Outlaw Speedway. And I think he's got the talent, he's got the shoe to do it, and I think we might be surprised by Frank Guerri Jr. I think he might be able to come out here and shock us all and pull off a couple wins this season.
I'll tell you, for one, Brad, I'd be all right with seeing that. I know, it's just a dream. Frankie told us a couple weeks ago when we aired his interview on the show, how forward he's looking to getting behind the wheel of a late model, and boy, does that car have some good roots, huh, Clint Miller? My goodness.
Betcha. Old T-Mac chassis.
But for my pick on the driver, and I don't know that this driver has come out yet and said that they were going to run full time, but irregardless of whether they come to race at Outlaw full time or not, they don't call him Mr. Excitement for nothing. Jeremy Wonderling, to me, guys, Jeremy Wonderling is the Chuck Hebing of late model racing. Be it 360, be it crate late model, Jeremy Wonderling just is just crazy, and crazy good, by the way. I always had an appreciation for what that young man can get out of a race car. Bad race car, perfect race car with the wheel falling off coming out of turn 2, you name it. Jeremy Wunderlich can just flat out drive a late model, and I think that we'll see that on display quite a few times this season at Outlaw.
Rebuttal? When they went to the crate late model, Jeremy's success rate declined a lot, and I don't think they raced as much, but I think that once the crate playing field got leveled, it got a lot more difficult because everybody is on that level, and you have to be perfect on a lot of those things, and I think that they just struggled with the full late model chassis, and I know he did have a good run at Black Rock, and I disagree with you, bud, and that's what we're here to do.
All right, Brad, you?
Yeah, Clint, I think I agree with you a lot on that. You know, obviously he's a talented driver, and I think he came to what was called Black Rock Speedway then. He came to Black Rock when the super stocks were just starting into their full transition into the 360 late models, and I kind of think when he got to Outlaw to Black Rock, he was kind of 2 steps ahead of the super stocks, and I kind of think that's what kind of helped him be as successful as he was, on top of the fact that he was a great driver. You know, he was one of those guys that was 2 steps ahead of everybody, kind of like the olden days Steve Payne. You know, by the time he showed up to the racetrack, he was kind of a step and a half ahead of everybody, so it was hard to beat him. But, you know, I think over the time he will be a contender, but I don't think he's going to be as big of a contender as he was with the 360.
Well, they call him Mr. Excitement. Gary Montgomery, our good friend, always said, a proud card-carrying member of the SIO Speed Society. So when you put all that together, that's good enough for me, man. Give me a frosty cold beverage and a good seat in the grandstands, and I'd watch Jeremy Wunderlich any day. No doubt about it. Guys, Orange County Fair Speedway again opening up this weekend for the Hard Clay Open. We've got some other tracks in the next couple of weeks that will be opening for their season as well. We're going to be doing some season previews for the divisions at all the local tracks that we cover here on Turn 5 Live, so stay tuned for that. Remember, next week, Malcolm Lane will join us on the program at 7:45. The legendary Malcolm Lane from Lane's Yamaha ESS and soon-to-be USAC Sprint Cars will be on the program next week. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. We'll be back next Tuesday for an all-new Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Turn 5 Live is a copyrighted production of the Performance Motorsports Network. PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com is a member of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, co-host, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, the advertisers, or marketing partners. Thank you for listening to Turn 5 Live. You can listen to Turn 5 Live every Tuesday night right here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stay tuned for more great PMN programming. Searching for a world so soul. This is radio.